The following review is intended for entertainment purposes and targeted for adult fans of the series.
Does it get happening? Does it get happening? Hello there, heroes. I'm the Orange Ranger, and welcome to Just the Facts on Dino Fury Episode 20, Waking Nightmares.
Please make sure you're subscribed to the channel.
Yeah, and make sure you got your notifications set up by hitting that little bell icon.
Right you. What he said was, you can consider checking us out on Patreon or Ko-fi at OrangeRangerVideos.
Sometime apparently at night, Ion is having a nightmare about the ancient Dino Fury Rangers' final battle, where the Ultrazord was destroyed and everyone but Zato and Ion was seemingly killed. He wakes up and wanders the ship, bumping into Zato, who admits that he's had the exact same nightmare, and then the two of them go back to sleep. Meanwhile, Dino Fury seeks to follow up on Beast Morpher's It's Great to Be Human, though with considerably more restraint. Mucus has a dream sequence where she activates the Sporks machine and it makes her cooler. A disco sequence with cheerleading henchmen and everything. It goes absolutely nowhere.
That was a great scene.
Dr. Akana digs up the keys that the Rangers saw near Dinohenge, the Light and Shadow battle mode keys. These things are powerful little suckers. The Light key can erase curses, the Shadow key can open a black hole, the two can be combined into the Cosmic key, which can open a portal to anywhere, and they're both associated with new Zords.
Merchandising! Where the real money from the movie is made.
The Zords in question survived the Ultrazord's explosion, being flung into deep space and landing on a distant planet, Nibiru. However, no planet is too distant for the power of plot convenience, the Cosmic key. Ion opens a portal, but it's unstable. Zato pulls a Mayor Daniels, hopping through anyway, and is greeted by the four ancient Dino Fury Rangers we thought had died. It turns out they're still alive.
Not so fast!
They pull their sabers and attack Zato as the portal closes. Ion tries to reopen it, but the keys are too far away from their Zord, so they don't have enough power to do so. Sensing a need for her particular brand of plot convenience, Dr. Akana calls the Ranger hotline, telling the Rangers she's about to do an experiment that they should come and observe.
At this point, the test subject was dead.
I was not dead.
Shut up.
She has figured out that the statues are connected to a powerful energy source, and her devices reveal the morphing grid. Seeing the energy, Ion gets an idea, holding the key and touching one of the statues. The equipment gets blown up, but the key is repowered. Ion uses it to open a new portal to the Nabisco planet and leaps through immediately. However, Void Knight was hiding nearby, and seeing all this, realizes he may have just found his own energy source. Back at Area 62, Void Knight pops his helmet off and tells his lady love that the morphing grid will bring them back together. Of course, I'm not entirely sure why he can't just use morphing grid energy right now. He's very clearly a Dino Fury Power Ranger. Anyway, he busts Reghoul out of its cell and offers it a new chance at freedom. Step 1 is reviving Boom Tower. Step 2 is giving Boom Tower new gas bombs that will explode anytime the Rangers attack. On Naboo, Ion leaps in to defend Zato from the ancient Dino Fury Rangers. They realize that their old friends are simply repeating phrases over and over. The Ultrazord's gonna blow, the Sporks beasts are too powerful, etc., etc. It takes them way too long to piece this together, but the ancient Rangers are just repeating things heard in the nightmare. On Earth, the four Rangers encounter Mucus and Boom Tower, and it takes them way too long to put together the thing about the gas bombs. Back over on Nabisco, Ion and Zato realize that if the ancient Rangers are saying bad things from the nightmare, they just need to say the good things from the nightmare to stop them from attacking. This works, sure, and the four Ghost Rangers form into this floating blue ball thing, which admits that it uses nightmare imagery to protect its planet. Zato gets a call from Solon about Boom Tower, so he heads back to Earth, while Ion stays and retrieves the Shadow and Light Raptor Zords. Zato is no help against Boom Tower, but then Ion shows up using the Shadow Battle Armor to suck all of the gas into a black hole, getting rid of it. Boom Tower grows, Warrior Formation, and the Mosa Razor Zord combines with the Shadow Zord to form... wait for it. The Mosa Shadow Megazord. 2 or 3 attacks and the Zord fight gets out of the way. Back at Dinohenge, the Rangers find that Void Knight has stolen Dr. Akana's equipment, and we have a plot hook for the finale. Let's balance the scales. Episode 20, Waking Nightmares. Pros, finally a focus on the grander story again, a step towards the idea of Ranger PTSD, and a non-traditional episode flow. Cons, bounces back and forth a little too much, some cheesy sci-fi elements that take away from the serious tone, and Rangers being slow on the uptake. Great progress in the story, but doing it this late shoves in some weird and cheesy elements. Waking Nightmares gets 3.75 scales out of 5. It takes an episode like this to realize just how steeped in filler Dino Fury has been this season. Serious story focus, backstory for Zato and Ion, a little bit of world building with a new, well, world. Does it happen a little too fast? Stay tuned for the cons on that one, but it was just so great to get back to all Rangers, all the time. Part of that deeper story was something that I wish they'd been able to touch more on, but what we did get was good. The concept of Ranger post-traumatic stress disorder. We don't really go into this too often because it is just a kid's show, but the Rangers are soldiers fighting in a war. They go into battle about once a week trying to protect the ones they love and their world. They're putting their lives in danger constantly. You are going to have nightmares about that. I think it would be a really neat hook for a team-up episode. What if the current Rangers seek out the past team of Rangers for help with a threat, but they're done. They cannot fight anymore. They cannot mentally stand to rejoin the fight. The flow of this story was a little bit outside the norm, going back and forth, which again I sometimes consider a good thing, sometimes a bad thing, dealing with both the ancient past and the future. We start out with 2 separate stories, Ion and Zato and the new Zords, and Boom Tower's revival, and they slowly kind of wind their way towards each other. Okay, being honest, I'm not really sure what I was going for when I wrote this pro down, but this is what I came up with. The downside to that back and forth flow is that it made this episode feel like a tennis match for most of it. I will readily admit that this is something that could be made worse by having to write about it instead of just watching it, but once Zato heads to Nibiru, it's Nibiru, and then back to Earth, and then back to Nibiru, and then back to Earth, back to Nabisco, back to Earth, back to Naboo, back to Earth, back and forth, over and over and over and over.
Okay, dude, calm down. Take a chill pill.
So this is basically my overall summary of the episode, but the problem with waiting until episode 20 of 22 to start wrapping things up is that you're cramming a lot of important plot details into just a few episodes. Other planets, new Zords, Guardians of whatever, Void Knight suddenly abandoning the Sporix to use Morph-X instead. We've gone from 0 to 100 in the plot, and it got to be a little much. And I directly pointed this out during the plot summary, but the Rangers must have gotten up on the wrong side of the bed that day. I mean, Zato and Ion were having nightmares. Hearing the very first 2 ancient Dino Fury Rangers lines, I realized that they were saying stuff from the nightmare. But that makes Zato and Ion quicker than the other Dino Fury Rangers, who had to get blown up like 5 times to realize what was going on with the gas bombs. What made that part worse is they kept mocking Boom Tower for the bombs supposedly doing nothing when it was really dang clear what was going on.
Are you an idiot? Run that by me again. Are you an idiot?
So this is absolutely what I wanted, a focus on the Ranger plot with a real serious tone to it and the sense that we are finally building towards something. The problem is that they've shoved so much filler into this season that now we're racing towards the climax. The quest to find Nibiru and the Shadow and Light Zords, I feel like could have been 2 or 3 episodes instead of just 1. Well, believe it or not, we've finally reached the end. Yes, of course, there is still Christmas, but the story of Dino Fury's first season is coming to an end here. Let's take a peek at how everything wraps up, looking at the story finale of Dino Fury's first season, episode 21, Void Trap. The Rangers need Dr. Akana's help to stop Void Knight's evil scheme, but Ollie disagrees with Zeto's plan, afraid it will put his mother in danger. That is going to wrap up another Power Rangers Dino Fury episode review. Thank you, heroes, so much as always for watching. Now that the video's done, you can let me know what you thought of this episode, as well as my review of it, down in the comments below. While you're down there, make sure you smack that thumbs up button to let me know that you enjoyed this video. And if you'd like a way to support this channel that isn't Patreon or Ko-fi, consider checking out my Teespring store and picking up some sweet Orange Ranger merch. Until next time, heroes, may the power protect you. Dr. Akana did... It takes them way too long to realize this, but the Ancient Rangers are repeating things. Doing it again. Back over to Nabisco. Solon gets a call to Zato.